Good afternoon. Let's. That's a nice piece of music. Obviously, coming from Finland, it must be Angry Birds. So, however, I'm based in Cambridge, so maybe a more appropriate music would have been Elite, which is what's developed there. 2 billion players, by the way, so that's quite something. Yeah. So also from being from Finland, I'm not so expressive probably than you might think. Surprise, surprise, Reactor. So I'm Jan Storgårds. I'm from Anglia Ruskin University. I'm the director of a program called REACTOR. Surprise, surprise, about using the power of games to create innovative solutions funded by the EU. Brexit hasn't influenced us too much yet. Adding value and competitive advantage to new innovative solutions. One way we work is we set up something called Big Gamification Challenge, which this year is about, not about that. Immersive environments. So Cambridge has like 2,000 technology companies, as you might know. And we have been running this program for a year. So we have learned a lot what actually these tech startups they want from gamification. And one of is the themes that actually want to work with. And smart cities is certainly a topic that you get into the door, into the room to talk about gamification. We work with Smart Cambridge and the local enterprise partnership. Yes, so being in one of those places where there is a startup set up almost every day, we have been lucky to already getting more than 80 organizers, different types of organizations involved with our program. But especially at the core of everything are the makers, so startups who actually make the solutions. So my brief talk, next 10 minutes about all the buzzwords here: strategy, gamification, technology, startup, and R&D. How you couldn't add actually any more than that into a topic. So what is strategy? We don't have too much time to go through all the details. However, people think that they have a goal, they have an aim they want to reach, but obviously it's actually a journey. So which part of this journey they would like to, or they should use gamification techniques. So you think of doing something, however, during that journey, you will change the way you do things. So startups, you know how it is. I've been involved with 4 startups. Back in early 2000, I was making these cool, actually, it wasn't so cool term we used, wrist-top computers. I wish we would have actually invented the word smartwatch, because we would be much more bigger than today. So my gamification journey started already from that, and I know how all the startups are struggling with resources, and they have to put the priorities when they are developing new products. Often it's about problem, solution, market fit. Nothing new there. In Cambridge, I've noticed that it's a lot to do with business to business. It's not the business to consumer, community so much. So the terminology that we use about making games or using gamification is actually must be an industrial approach. And that's future cities, smart buildings, smart transportation systems, and so on and so forth, are those that we have to adapt to if we want to have more startups using gamification techniques. It's about agile development, pivoting, staging, failing, learning, and so on and so forth. So as this is about the experiences we have had last year, I just say what I hear. obviously there's the demand for gamification. It starts from the very basics, reward systems, points, different type of engagement models. Behavioral change is a hot buzzword, user experience design, so on, so forth. And if you are lucky, and by the way, one of the selling points is obviously they get excited when they can actually be working with game industry experts. So we have a bit more than 1,000 people working in the games industry in Cambridge. So I'll bring them to work actually with these startups, and yeah, they learn a lot from them and give new ideas. So then what I show to them is something like this, and these are just a few words, what actually you can kind of borrow, what kind of elements you can borrow from the games industry. And when they see this list, they get surprised. There's so much more to explore than they thought. This is the key thing when you start to talk about the games, use of games in other contexts and other industries. Yes, so it's all about startups, and this is a sample of the startups I've been working with. So you see how from diverse backgrounds they come from, how different type of products and services they're actually making, and it's us that has to adapt to their ways of working. For instance, I mean, knowledge is here. Alexis is picturing your knowledge. It's a great concept that he's working with. We have tourist applications, actually quite a lot to do with data sciences. That's something that happens there a lot, and healthcare. But you see the diversity, and each of these cases are very different. We have to adapt. When I'm trying to find the experts to work with them, it's a challenging task, but the community is growing quite quickly. And yeah, I feel like I'm some kind of evangelist for the gamification there, which is a cool job. So we want them to experiment with their new ideas. There is no need to change the company strategy. And so what we do is we build that context of innovation and whatever they need so that they can apply knowledge into their products. Hopefully we get them into the place that they can actually finish the proof of concepts, and there's people using these products. So the learnings, I think there's some, you know, I'm not a native English speaker, so I'm learning here some cool sayings at the same time. So I tend to say that we actually add the cinnamon or some flavor to your coffee, but we won't make the coffee. This is to say that it's the special thing that makes your thing, whatever your innovation, a bit different from anything else. And that's the unique value, the competitive advantage that we can actually provide as gamifiers in this community. Another word is that one of the guys I talked to in the tech company, he said that actually what you're doing, you are developing entertainment value. So yes, but you have to be quite careful when you use the words such as entertainment and fun, especially when you go to healthcare sector. That's a completely another story. We have plenty of cases how you can go around of that, but yes, it's putting independent value into applications. I would also say you shouldn't be disturbing the strategy, so you adapt. It's about not making games, yeah, we know that. It's about excitement, the true creativity of delivering something new, exchange of knowledge and training and finding them great game designers. But most of all, we need to let the startups make their own choices. So from that menu that I kind of showed there, and on the interactions they have with the experts, it's the startups that make their choices so that they can take to their products to the next stages. So adding value, changing behaviors, and hopefully new and disruptive things. Well, Cambridge, it's a special place. It's an amazing place. It's a place where I think we can take gamification to new levels. And thank you very much. If you have questions, I will be here for the next couple of hours. I also want to really much thank you for inviting me to Brighton. It's beautiful. It's my first time here. It's great to be here, know you, and welcome to Cambridge to visit us too. Thank you.
I'm sorry, guys. Thank you, Mike. Can I have a mic?